This is the Seven Figure Standard Podcast, hosted by Arash Vossoughi and Mykie Stiller, with mindset and strategies to help you break through and create personal freedom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Seven Figure Standard Podcast. I'm Mykie Stiller, joined by my co-host, Arash Vossoughi, and we're so thrilled to be back with you for another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about creating worthiness, which is such an amazing topic, and I'm really excited to dig in here. So, Arash, first, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm great, Mykie. How are you?
I'm doing great as well. I love this time of year, and I love the topic we're talking about today. So, I know this comes up a lot whenever we are talking with clients and maybe they have come up against a, seemingly roadblock or obstacle. But what can you tell us about creating worthiness in your life?
Well, I want to start about the time of the year because I love this time of the year too. For a lot of people, it's about renewal. They get excited, and I just want to remind them to really create a great future is to really be focused in the present. And I think it's very important to really lock that in for ourselves. And you want to be excited about the future, but you're creating it in this present moment. And this topic of worthiness is such an important topic. Everyone can create more worthiness within them. But why it's so important is we only attract into our life consistently what we feel worthy of what we deserve. And so I want everybody to take a look at their results. That matches your worthiness every time. Now, if you don't like them, hey, I was at a point I didn't like it. I was at a point years ago that I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror without shaming myself. Like I had to work on my worthiness. So I've been there. Now it's the exact opposite. You get to work on worthiness. It's such a beautiful part of you once you're working in front of it and really together with it. I always say, I want everyone to work on their worthiness. And you do that through how you feel about yourself. So think about this. I'm going to give you two quotes. One is a proverb. It says, "For as they thinketh in their hearts, so are they." And then Solomon says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." It means how you really feel inside about your thoughts and feelings about yourself or those particular thoughts. Your heart, that's your power source, but your heart is the center of your true feelings and emotions. And we want to really understand this, because it's always focused on, when we talk about our heart, it's focused on things that are important to you, your value system, and how you feel about yourself. So let's give an example, okay? Let's say somebody wants to create financial freedom, or they want to create that dream relationship, or they want to create that perfect body fitness-wise, okay? But let's say it's not showing up. Well, you have to go inside, and that's where worthiness comes in. If it's not showing up over a long period of time, it's telling you that you don't feel you deserve those things. Now, a lot of people shy away, don't want to look at that. But you have to look at that. Over a period of time, if you're not seeing increase in these areas, then you will sabotage yourself. And that's why you're not seeing them. You'll be going up and then you go back. Going up and then go back. So you have to be willing to go in and look at those feelings. And if you do not feel in your heart your feelings of deserving it, of the conditions and circumstances that you want, that's where the primary cause is.
So, Raj, the results never lie. They always tell the truth. And so we can look at our results and see where our worthiness is. Will our mind lie to us if we ask ourselves the question, do I feel worthy in this area? Will our mind say yes, no, and be off from the truth?
You couldn't have asked a better question. You really couldn't have asked a better question. See, your rational mind can say, I feel worthy of it. No, I'm ready for it. But it's your emotional mind which we've talked a lot about in our podcast. It's your power source. That's where the heart is. It's not in your rational mind. So your emotional minds are the personal feelings and emotions associated with financial freedom, with the relationship. That's the part that you want to check in with. Because your rational mind will say, no, I do. I feel it. But if you don't feel it in your emotional mind, you don't feel it. You'll know. It's your priority. It's your automatic thought pattern. It's your automatic, I know that I know. It's this inner knowingness that you have so much faith that it's coming. And here's what's important. Whatever you recognize, you're giving energy to. And then whatever you give energy to, you realize in your results. So this is where we've got to go back and we've got to look at our image. Because worthiness is connected with our image and identity. They're synonymous. They're one and the same. All changes begin with your self-image. So an increase in worthiness is an increase in self-image. And if your thoughts are not congruent on a conscious and emotional level, then you're not going to get what you want. That goes into the worthiness.
This is so good. So it's obvious to me as you're going through this that worthiness and self-identity or self-image are very closely tied together. Are they one and the same, or is there a difference?
Worthiness is a part of your identity. Identity is the foundation of all your programming. It's the foundation of the programs that are running you. And the programs are a habitual behavior. So worthiness, we want to become that habitual behavior. A lot of people are saying, let me get advice. Let me ask Mykie advice. What do you think about this? We've got to trust ourselves. And when we start trusting ourselves, we're building worthiness. And I always say, if you're going to get advice from somebody, get it from somebody who's living the way you want to live. Some of the worst people to get advice from are the people closest to us in our family, not because they don't have good meaning, they do, but they may not have the same desire that you have, that really want to quantify your results and quantify your worthiness. They're going to tell you, no, you're doing great. This is good. So I wouldn't get advice from that. I would get advice from the movers and shakers that are really making it happen if that's what you want in any area of your life. And we've got to go and understand our identity is based on our thoughts, emotions, and feelings. That's attitude. What is my attitude towards myself? Number 2 is the environment I am. Who do I associate with? And what are the type of actions I take? Are they congruent on creating financial freedom? Are they congruent on me meeting my ideal partner? Are they congruent on me 10xing? Your self-image is you build your self-image through worthiness. The more worthy you feel, the more your self-image increases. But your self-image is like a magnet. It attracts or repels you to what you're congruent with. And that's worthiness.
So Arash, the opposite of worthiness is unworthiness. And I'm going to group in poverty and scarcity as well. Do you start by removing unworthiness, poverty, and scarcity from your mindset and your subconscious mind? Or do you add more worthiness and abundance to push the unworthiness and scarcity out?
Well, we have to, if we want to live a world-class life, scarcity, lack, and limitation have no place in our mind. And we have to discipline ourselves if that's what you want. Okay? And in the beginning, it takes work. But your rewards are going to be so significant. I mean, I can't tell you how significant, but I want to simplify worthiness. In the beginning, the start is the hardest part. Is you want to start by recognizing the wins you're having, the mini wins, the little wins. I woke up when I said I was going to wake up. The little promises you're keeping to yourself. That's going to build your worthiness. Stacking promises is the quickest way to build your worthiness. If you say you're going to do something, do it. And as you develop worthiness, you're going to stick to disciplining your mind so you eliminate lack and limitation and only focusing on what you want. Now, wants are everything. Without a want, you're going to drift away. But you have to mix want with discipline. When the want fades away, that's where discipline has your back. Where discipline says, no, I don't care how it's going to happen. I just know that I'm willing to do it. And then the want gets stronger. So when we mix the want with discipline, your wants won't fade away. I always ask the question, when I was constantly going up and down, why were my wants fading away? It's because I didn't mix it with discipline. Like I didn't get that immediate gratification, so I'd start over. I'd go somewhere else instead of sticking to the process. Mm-hmm. And I think I've said it on the podcast. If not, you want to pay close attention to this. To build your worthiness is you want to commit to winning each day and stop committing to letting measuring yourself against the outcome. The outcome will happen automatically. It happens literally by default when you're winning each day. Focus on your work habits. Focus on your intentions. Focus on your attitude of how you're attacking your day. Focus on the power of 5 that we've talked about, building the power of 5 we've talked about significantly on the podcast. So if we focus on that, that's going to build worthiness.
Okay, I'm going to get into the action step next, but first what I want to ask you is, what is the benefit people will see as a result of building their worthiness?
Well, they're going to like themselves more. The more they like themselves, the more they believe in themselves. The more they love themselves, the more their life becomes magical. I can take a good look back. I love that quote by Steve Jobs. He says, you can always measure things looking back and connecting the dots. Like I can look back and I go, you didn't have a lot of worthiness. Like you had a lot of insecurity. Then I could also look back at the person who had the courage to work on that, because it takes courage to work on it. So to me, worthiness is part of the deal. No different than brushing your teeth. And when you prioritize it, you're giving energy to it. And you're not going to let people treat you certain ways, because we teach people how to treat us. That's worthiness. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? If I'm letting so-and-so mistreat me, then I'm giving a signal to the universe that I don't value myself. And what do you think the universe is going to keep bringing in my environment? More people that don't value me. That's worthiness.
I love that. All right, Arash, let's get into an action step.
Well, what I would recommend you do, it's very simple to build it, is really start your year on fire. And I know we're ending the year by the time you guys listen to this, but I will tell you what to do is start writing out wins. Start acknowledging the good you're doing. And then every night and every morning, look in the mirror and say, I am so worthy of the good that I desire. And do it until you believe it, to that emotional part of you believes it. Look in your eyes. Because remember, the rational mind is going to say, oh, this is silly. You're already worthy. The emotional mind is the part that I want you to see what feelings are associated, because that's in the heart. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's the real truth. So don't look away from it. Don't wander. Don't do it. There's two types of people who play the game of life. There's players and watchers. And I can get into that in another podcast, but play your game as an active participant. Worthiness is going to change the game for you.
All right. Thank you so much, Arash. This was an incredible episode. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a rating and review. Share this with your friends and family. We would be so grateful for you to help us reach more people. And we'll see you next week with another episode.
Thank you for listening to this episode of 7-Figure Standard. We hope you found the insights and strategies helpful on your journey to success. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform to help us reach more people like you. To learn more about Arash and Mykie and how Voss Coach & Co. can help you achieve your goals and reach new levels of success, visit vosscoachandco.com. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of 7-Figure Standard.